welcome to Uncivil Law, where we learn through the misfortunes of others. As always, I hope you'll enjoy this legal education content. And today will be the day I earn the subscription. And unfortunately, that is not the first time I have said these words to camera today, because I've been talking to the camera for a little while now. And couldn't help noticing that there were no chats in the comments, and couldn't help noticing that the little live button that's in the top left corner for me wasn't there, and couldn't help noticing that the number of people there wasn't there. But these telltale clues in no way told me that I had forgotten to hit the go live button. So yeah, I might have forgotten to hit the go live button. I may have already done this for a couple minutes now. Super. That's great. Just really fantastic. Okay. Moving on. We're going to just talk about the things I've already talked about, at least to myself, literally, because there was no one here to hear me. All right, so we're going to discuss the day that was the May 24th. You guys watching this now, right? I mean, there are actually people here, right? It's not just me anymore, right? Okay, anyways. All right, so we started the day with Amber Heard formally closing her case. The Amber Heard show finally came to an end. It came to an end. And not for least the reasons because they don't have any time left. So we heard argument on the motion to strike to get rid of her counterclaims, and Ben Chu was crushing it. He was doing really, really good. I like his style. He's got a good style that is reminiscent in some ways of a brief writer, but it's really workable. He's got case citations. He's got good argument, and he's got lucid argument. And we heard from the other side as well on their argument, which wasn't as good. And we heard from the judge's reasoning, which of course had been written in advance, which isn't a surprise because, they know what it's going to be talking about or what the issues are going to be. So it isn't a surprise the judge had already written a decision in anticipation of the arguments that she was going to hear, because, she can predict these things because, it's not her first time being judge a little bit. All right. So the judge denied the counterclaims. Denied to strike the counterclaims is the better way to put that. What do I think? I think the judge might be wrong. I think the judge might be wrong for a very particular reason. In the legal analysis, I think she's making a mistake. Now, if the judge came out with a written decision at some point, if they come out with a formalized written decision, then I'd be happy to read that, because maybe there's good citations to law in there that would provide information I don't have. So I'm not saying the judge is necessarily wrong. It didn't seem correct to me based on my understanding of the law. But, if she writes a decision that explains it, I'll be able to talk in more depth. In any event, I think she makes a mistake on this idea of agency theory, that the lawyer is the agent for Johnny Depp. And the reason that I think this is a mistake is that the case law in Virginia seems to be quite clear that two things. First of all, if it's an independent contractor, it can't be your agent in this context. In order for it to be an agent, it has to be an employer-employee relationship, not an independent contractor relationship. So if it's an independent contractor, then you're just done. So that's issue number one. And then, even then, it's you have to figure out whether or not that's true. So I figure she made a mistake because the case law seems to be fairly clear that a lawyer is normally an independent contractor, not an employee, which makes total logical sense, right? You come to me to be your lawyer, right? I'm not your employee. I'm an independent contractor by the standards or by which things are made. I'm an independent person using my independent tools. Typically, I'm setting my own hours, using my own means of conveyances, setting my own sort of schedule and stuff like that, right? It's pretty independent contractory in terms of the thing, right? But the judge seemed to be going under the premise, where I think she's making the error, that although that might be true in general, because this particular lawyer worked for Depp for a number of years in all sorts of related fields, in all sorts of capacities, in all sorts of cases, for 5 or 7 years or whatever the time frame was, that because of that, maybe he's a pseudo employee or an actual employee, that he should be treated in this more of an employee character, because he's not just a one-off lawyer, he's now kind of a perpetual lawyer, which I still don't know that I buy that idea, but that's where we are. Oh, good. Hogue is here. Hogue, I need you desperately.
Yes, I hear that a lot. Yeah.
No. Opening twice.
Sorry about that, Kurt. We got a lot of late super chats after
I did my opening twice. I did it 5 minutes to camera without pressing the go live button, Richard.
Hey, you know what? You know what's worse? Okay, so I once did a case summary in an antitrust case that went, I think, an hour and 45 minutes. And when I went to check the tape before I uploaded it, my microphone didn't pick up because it was set to default or something else. And I almost died. But when you've already got that in your head, you don't want to lose it. So you just say, fine, and you do it again. And it's never as good as the first time you did it. But I've been there. Just it could have been a lot worse than 5 minutes.
No.
Did you set it to public?
No.
No? Okay. So we're going to get through this. Any event, you need to get some water? You need to stretch out? I can chat with your chat. You said
yes,
you needed
please.
Water. Okay. Go get some water. Oh, wow. Hello, folks, and welcome to Uncivil Law. My name is Kurt, and I would like to talk to you about appellate court decisions and other things. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Let's see the chat. Chatception, says one of these commenters. Unfortunately, I can't put them on the screen because I'm not actually in control of the stream. Hi, folks. Lol. Smiling, happy face emoji. Put up those emojis. What emojis are you not using that I don't regularly see? I'd love to try to describe them for you. That's one of my skill sets. A couple video game controllers here. Is today the day you will also earn our subscription? Probably not. If I haven't convinced you yet here in the 7th week of covering Depp v. Heard, I probably won't convince you today. But that's an okay take. LawTube has a bunch of different flavors of people. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to Kurt's channel right now, why not? You should take this opportunity while you're facing my big face to try to get me off your screen with likes and subscribes. I've been told that Kurt is holding his stream for ransom right now. And in order to get rid of me, you should try to like and subscribe to his channel. Oh, we got some emojis. Fantastic. What do we have here? We have some grumpy emojis, most definitely. We have like a purple Space Invader alien. That's pretty cool. We got the hearts, classic. We got like a walking person. They're very small in the corner of my screen, so we'll see what I can do. We've got celebratory kind of cone things. We got bats. I didn't know those bats existed. That's pretty neat. I think we got some nerd ones. That's awesome. And then we have a whole series of animals. Right? Oh, it flashed there. So I lost where I was at. We got some devil horns, some beers. What can't emojis do, I ask you? Purple hearts, which always makes me look around and see where Emily Baker is. We got some of the scream emojis. That's pretty nice. We got some stars in your eye, hearts in your eye, hearts around your head, and then bleeding heart emojis. I think that's a bleeding heart. It looks like a bleeding heart to me. We've got some big hand emojis, some different fish. I like the clownfish. That's pretty awesome. Video game controllers and cowboy hat emojis. That's us. Rolling on the floor laughing. I like the frog. Is that anybody's emoji right now? It's pretty cool. Some thumbs up, subscribe and like. Definitely hit that like button, people, especially if you want me off your screen. Alien face. How do you get the alien face? That's nice. We got like a mask with a long nose emoji, a mermaid, and a dolphin. That mermaid, you can just use that for Amber. Just get in there. Some socks. What are you going to do with socks emojis? I don't know. Any ideas? I have no idea on that. Hear from your channel and Legal Bites. Love you, Hogue. That's very nice of you to say. You have caterpillars on your forehead. Yeah, I got the big eyebrows. Yeah. but they're pretty good at demonstrating what my facial state is. So they're pretty good at reacting to things that I'm not expecting. I was expecting to use them for Jennifer Howell's testimony. Unfortunately, that didn't happen today. I don't know. How are you all feeling about that? Because I would have liked to have seen that be more interesting as against the Whitney testimony. Hearts in your eyes. Is that an emoji without a mouth? That's kind of frightening. We got the blowing up head emoji. We've got some, oh, it scrolled past again. Sorry about that. Some more cowboys, some moons. Have you ever used a half moon? It's kind of interesting. Some movie reels. That's awesome. I want to use that. I don't use emojis. I think I've said this before. People say I'm a boomer when I say this, but I'm not that old, but I use a colon and then a parentheses, and I really think that's pretty darn hip. So all the rest of this is pretty cool. We got some stats kind of emojis. That's like a stock line. That's pretty cool. An ambulance. I have no idea what that is. Twins? Maybe. Santa Claus. Oh, you got like this cool racing robot thing. That looks like a Macron or Macross, depending on how old you are. Beers. Look at all these emojis. Unicorns. Look at that. My daughters would love that. Is that, do you have some Vulcan emojis? I didn't know that was a thing. That's pretty nice. Eyeballs, thumbs up, masks, aliens, unicorns. Those are the favorites. Maize and blue. That's amazing blue hearts. Go blue. Exploding head emojis. We seem to hit most of these. Brains. That's nice. Hundreds. I know the kids like to put 100 up to mean like they're serious about something. I don't know exactly what that means entirely, but hey, I understand what they are intending by it, so that's cool. Honeypot, umbrellas. There's a lot of umbrellas. In case you want to describe a different umbrella in your emoji lines, of course. Pill, 1080p, please. Cannot change the resolution that Kurt's broadcasting yet. What else we got here? Some waves. I'm absolutely terrified by the emoji that looks like it doesn't have a mouth. I don't know what that's all about. Some eyeballs, like in a mind bubble. Did LawTube reband to LegalTube, seeing some weird stuff online. There's a lot of conversations about that. A lot of folks are worried about intellectual property rights and whatnot. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Foxes, I think. Some foxes is pretty cool. What do we have that's closest to a meerkat? That's really the animal I like the most, is the meerkat, the mighty meerkat, standing guard above the mighty meerkat home. What kind of emoji do we have that represents the mighty meerkat? Anything that's remotely like that? I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. Sorry, all the rest of you emoji contributors. I'm looking for a meerkat that I can use. What's your ethnicity? Your eyebrows say Greek. Nope, not Greek. Hogue, what article are you covering tomorrow morning? I might be skipping tomorrow morning. I'm very sorry to say. Don't know. If it goes up, it'll be late tonight because I have some other stuff I have to get done after streaming today because we're still an operating law firm. So I have some documents to do. I have some stuff to look at. My wife and kids missed me, so I'm going to check in on them. It's Kurt.
It is me. Yes. Hi. You were doing a fantastic job.
Repeating emojis. I'm still waiting. They're supposed to deliver a meerkat emoji to me. I guess it's this hamster head. That's pretty good, Joni Driscoll. I think that's pretty good. Kind of a penguin, maybe a penguin with a hamster head. These are pretty close. These are pretty close. Yes,
water is underrated.
Yeah, you got to hydrate. If you don't hydrate, you're going to wake up with a headache, and then tomorrow is going to be a lot worse.
Okay. So we were going through the witnesses, and we had talked about the counterclaim is where we left things.
Okay.
So our first witness that we had on the merits was the Warner Brother exec, who was pointless.
You think so? I thought he was very good at saying that Amber Heard, like that the statements had nothing to do with Amber Heard, and the lack of chemistry I thought was strong too.
Yeah.
No. I
mean, yeah, to some degree, I think that's true.
I mean, I just think he eviscerated Amber Heard's kind of damage side of the claim, which is, if the jury's going to get to decide it and they have that testimony, even if they gave it to her, limited damage.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Okay, then we heard from the Depp, the hand doctor, who was there very, very briefly.
Yeah, very.
So not much getting from that. Then we had my highlight of the day.
Okay.
The entertainment lawyer Richard Marx.
He's the best. I can tell you after doing this kind of thing for almost 2 decades that he knows what a contract is. He knows where the leverage is. He knows what's happening within them. And while there might be some wonky stuff in Hollywood that he's downplaying, because we have heard from a bunch of agents about the expectations of studios, those are agents that want the expectations to be, hey, did we do good? We renegotiate. Hey, did we do bad? You promised us this money. That's how agents are. That's fine. That's their job. He comes in there and says, well, when we have leverage, we don't change anything. And
I mean, why would you? Why would you? The entire point of the contract is to lock in the current prices now. Why would you renegotiate? It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I thought he did a great job explaining it. I thought everybody and their brother seemed to be just knocking down their entertainment expert from yesterday. So that was a lot of fun to watch because she was the worst.
More than somewhat, yeah. But he was a lot of fun because, you know, he has this attitude of I don't care anymore about anything, or I don't give an F, I guess is slightly better than I don't care.
He's made his hay and he's just hanging out.
He's like, I negotiate these deals all the time. And I love some of these questions they have to ask him. Like, have you ever negotiated for a lead in a superhero movie? Like, no. Oh, so you're completely unqualified then,
I did like him trying to qualify various older school movies as superhero movies. That was amusing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a point to be had. Like, what do you do? It's like this Jungle Book, a superhero movie. I thought was cute.
Sure. Well, I mean, the point really is like that's a stupid question, Cross. You should be asking me, do I do big budget movies that require big budget contracts? The answer is yes.
Yeah. And I just tearing apart the other expert. He was very charming and just tearing apart the other expert, just saying that the numbers are ridiculous, the bases are ridiculous.
I'm adding not worth the paper it's not printed on.
That was really good. That was a very sharp moment by you. Credit where credit is due. That was incredibly sharp. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
so he was my favorite for the day by far.
Yep. He's the man.
And so then we heard from Doug Bianca, the Q score guy. Now I
missed the first half of this.
Now I missed the second half of it, so we can inform each other.
There you go.
So in the first half of it, he was really good.
That's what I was told.
He was redeeming all the problems he had. He was engaging with the jury. It was a lot more easy to follow. He was likable. He was, he was doing really, really good to bring an esoteric subject and make himself really likable. But I heard it kind of all went to hell in the second half.
Yeah, well, it's Cross, and he's not very good in Cross. And essentially, they pointed out things that made what he presented look significantly worse. They did what Cross should do, but like his demonstrative showing, like the comparison of the Q scores were taken from different dates and couldn't really be compared. The social media skews young, all these various things that popped in. And the bad part isn't how he constructed it, although I think it was a little bit duplicitous to not put dates and they'd be pulling things from different buckets. I thought that's not great. It's that he answers everything and it sounds terrible. Right? There's no confidence when he answers. It sounds like he just yields to the cross-examination. And so I think they spent a lot of time really taking him apart piece by piece. He's just not good. So far so that the panel at Legal Bites started thinking that maybe he was just there to suck up time. I don't know. I don't think it was important for them to win with him. I don't think it was important that they eviscerated him on Cross. So there you go.
But I did like where he was doing, like, you can't compare to Gal Gadot and Annie Armas, where he's doing these Q scores analysis and showing the Q scores relative to, like, between Amber Heard and the other people. It's like Amber Heard's over here at 6.
Yeah.
The average actor of all actors is like 13, and Momoa's like at 28. So these are just totally bogus. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I thought on Cross they explained that Momoa's was taken in 2020 and hers was taken in 2018, and there could be growth. And then he says, well, no, maybe it would go down. It's like, okay. It's like I found it to be, as a guy that likes looking at these charts, the fact that they're undated and they're pulled from different dates, it's like that doesn't quite say to me what you represented it to say, and then I start to discount your testimony. Reasonable minds can differ there.
Yeah. All right, so next up on the day was the Hicksville Trailer Park guy.
Oh, yeah. Our big adventure this day, because we got a voir dire in the public eye. Not the jury's eye, but the public eye.
And I need to go back and watch that voir dire because I don't. I'm trying to think when I've never seen one in person. I'm trying to think when the last time I saw the voir dire about a non-expert witness was.
And were you there when the judge started off? The judge had her questions first.
No, I didn't know that.
No, it was very interesting. Jerry leaves, and they have a conversation that's apparent that this guy has found the case and knows something about it. He found it through a clip. And so they're going to evaluate whether that tainted him for purposes of a rebuttal witness. And she gives the standards, and it's basically, I'm going to get these standards wrong because they're paraphrased, but it's intentionality. Did he go seek out the case? And what was the effect of what he saw? Was it material? And would it negatively impact his testimony? Would he comport to it? The big issue is, do you comport to other testimony? Are you going to make it seem stronger because you know what the other person said? And ultimately it came out that he saw a clip from that. Is it that or the umbrella guy? I don't know this person.
I think it's that umbrella guy.
That umbrella guy. And he's looking at a clip of them describing what happens at Hicksville, and he's like the owner of Hicksville. And he tweets back to that umbrella guy, "It didn't happen that way. Amber's jealous." It was more like Amber was jealous and crazy, something along those lines. And that from that, Johnny Depp's team finds him and contacts him. And then they go through the voir dire, and for the most part, they're just identifying what I just described. And then Elaine kind of pushes on it and sees whether he's been influenced. Johnny Depp's team doesn't ask any questions, doesn't try to get him in any further. And the judge says, we'll allow it, presumably because it doesn't match the standards for keeping out of the trial. And then you see the testimony from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we could go, actually, as time allows, and you may not be here that long, but as time allows.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I have to check in with the family.
You don't owe me anything except to bail me out of my own channel so I can go get some water and use the restroom and stuff. But thank you very much for helping me out. So we'll probably rewatch that voir dire because that will be interesting.
Yeah. You should. It's crazy.
We're gonna okay. So let's see what else we had. Dr. Shaw. Dealing with the narcissistic and Goldwater rule.
Dr. Shaw is this extremely chill British New Zealand psychiatrist that if you listen to too closely, you will fall asleep. Yeah, no, I very effective. Well, I can only speak for myself. Vastly more effective than Psychology Guy yesterday. Yeah. So he takes him down a notch. I don't know how much the Goldwater stuff matters to the jury. I honestly don't.
Then we heard from Whitney Herenquist, and I want to rewatch her entire testimony again on my stream tonight because it wasn't that long in the first place, so that I can figure out what the value of having her on was.
You mean Jennifer Howell?
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we anticipated she was going to take Whitney down, so they're attached to my head too.
Yeah, and that was where we left the day, right?
Was she last? No. Children's Hospital lady comes on after her.
Children's Hospital lady, that's right. Didn't give the money to the children.
No, didn't give the money to children. They got some money from Elon, it sounded like. And then I didn't take notes, so I don't know whether Children's Hospital lady was last. I know that Team Depp stops at like 4:53. And the judge does say what I thought was very interesting mathematically, which I think is entirely accurate. I'm going to charge the half hour to you because you had it available and you're not spending it, and we have to hit that Friday date, basically. So
works for me.
And Team Depp didn't have a problem with it. They're replete with hours.
Yeah, they don't. It's like we can give them a half hour. It's like, this is time. The court's scheduled for this time. It's like, you want to end early. It's like, okay, well, it's your time. What do I care? Yeah. Works for me.
Yeah, so I think that was the day. And then we saw Amber Heard's team proffer all their objection evidence.
Yeah, we'll probably go back and use Emily's because she does have timestamps. It's really helpful.
Nice. How did she get them in so fast? Emily is a machine.
She has a team. She hit 300,000.
Not that long ago.
I'm trying to think, like 4 weeks ago, maybe.
I was going to say not that long ago.
Yeah.
Well, awesome for our friend Emily D. Baker and her 500,000 subscribers. Who can even believe it? Who can believe it? Emily D. Baker was
on her way to the gold button.
Emily D. Baker was at 100,000 subscribers. I feel like 6 minutes ago. It was like a year ago.
Yeah, I was there.
but just amazing stuff. Emily deserves it. We got chat saying 5:15 already. She deserves it. Emily's a machine. She's amazing. And a true friend to all of us.
She's doing something right, man. I'll tell you what.
She's in there giving us advice and all sorts of stuff all the time. She is the friendliest person.
Yeah, she is the friendliest person. She's got a lot of energy too.
Isn't that right? Here we are at the end of Tuesday. Heck, I've only been on stream for like, I don't even know, 14 hours in a row.
Yeah, and she was at 100,000 a year ago, almost exactly.
There you go. Like that's the dream.
Maybe 13 months ago.
That's a dream. And 100,000 is a launching platform here on YouTube. The bots like you more, and you know who would benefit from it? Kurt and Uncivil Law. So if you like this stuff, if you like talking with Kurt, he's going to go over this stuff for you. I can't stay too long, unfortunately, but you should like and subscribe to his channel because he's out here doing this all the time. I think it's almost 14 hours for you, Kurt. I know you took a nap at some point, but it's a long,
I had
long
to, man.
time
I was
today.
passing out. I had to take 2 hours, man.
Absolutely. Who could blame you for that? But I do know that you've been on stream 90% of that time today, and that's what we're doing. So if you like this stuff, if you like LawTube, if you like everybody, 100,000 is a big, big, big special number for the robots behind the scenes that we're constantly fighting with. So please do help Kurt get to that number. Absolutely.
I'd love to hit. I'm at 85.5. I would really love it. I get to put the button like right up here on this thing. So
like on the post. Yeah, it would great.
It's a kitchen cabinet, but I'll put a hanger there so it's visible in the background.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm at 85.5. So I need 14.5 more. Is that how that math works?
Oh,
yes,
God.
great.
You didn't just ask me that, did you? It's something like that.
Is 85 plus 1,400? Yes, I think it is. Okay, great. So yeah, I need 14.5 more, and I'd really, really appreciate it for everyone who's helping to support the channel. I mean, we've grown a lot too, because at the start of this trial, I was at about 53 or 54.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I've picked up about 30,000 ish. So that's not bad work at all.
No,
that's still about what is it, 60% of the channel more.
Yeah,
so that's not bad.
Huge growth. That's huge.
See,
growth.
We're doing all kinds of math over here on Uncivil Law.
You're killing me. I can't verify any of this stuff, but I think that's almost identical to my pace. I just started a few ahead.
And then the legal bites over here going up 500%, and more than that. She's she isn't at 500% yet, but she's getting close. No, she's pretty much at 500% now.
Yeah, she was at 50, and she's gonna be at 250. So
yeah. Trying to remember where she was at the start. I'm trying to remember if she was over 50 or not. She might have been just below 50 at the very start, like 48 or something. I'd have to go.
Well, you know what I think about Alita and Legal Bites, so I am here to support that
they can show us all up.
Well, yeah, that she's gonna be a force on YouTube for a long time to come, and I'm happy.
Yeah, she is. She's showing us all up. Emily's showing us all up. The women are leading the charge, as is not atypical, and dominating through skill,
kicking
and
butt,
through intelligence, and through friendliness, and through energy.
Yeah,
that I don't know where either one of them gets it. They need to teach me the secret.
They're machines, aren't they? Yeah, they're fantastic.
They're machines. They're machines of fun and enjoyment.
I am, and I'm proud to know them both. And it's cool to see them kick so much butt.
Absolutely. Well, if you need to go, I'll let you go, and we'll get on to the voir dire stuff.
All right, fantastic, Kurt. I'm happy to have been able to help just a little bit here, and I will see you tomorrow. Remember, folks, like and subscribe. Yeah, we're going to have a fun trial day tomorrow. We'll see what happens. See you, Kurt.
I'm going to see you around, man. Well, that was nice of my friend Richard Hogue to come on and spend a few minutes with me so I could, do things that were necessary for my personal sanity. And Rob, he has over 100,000. That's true. And Richard deserves all the things he's getting. So make sure to subscribe to Hogue Law. He deserves it all as well. He's one of my OG inspirations in a lot of ways for what he puts together in this style. And I think he is criminally underrated. So make sure to check him out as well. All right. So let me go over to Emily's channel. And we will watch the voir dire again. Let's see. Cross-examination, judge rules, Hicksville witness. All right, so we'll go over here and rewatch at this point. and see what it has to say, because I think it'll be interesting. Because I didn't really hear it very much the first time. So let me do this. Share. All right, first of all, let me close all of these other windows. I don't need them. Great. Share screen, share tab, do this, do this. Fantastic. Now let's see if I can make this a little wider. Yeah. All right, so let's check this out. All right, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. All right, so let's rewatch this portion of the suit. So this lasted for about 20 minutes. So let's rewatch this because I think it'll be interesting because you don't see this very often.
Short break.
Turn your mic on, Judge A. Something's going on. There's no way they would be taking a break this early. What is happening? No, tell us, Rebecca. We want to know. Something is happening. I didn't see him stomp his foot. If they take a break, I'll rewind it and we'll look at it together. I don't know why they're taking a break. Something is up. I hope they are.
All right. So just so that we're on the same page, you can have a seat.
Judge A, I want to be on the
Yeah,
same page. Tell us what's happening.
All right. Just so we're on the same
time.
page with
Give us
Mr.
time.
Knight's testimony. Actually, could Mr. Knight go back out?
We need to talk about you,
Please.
sir. Please leave. So they're dealing with evidentiary issues. That's why they let the jury take the break earlier.
All right. All right. So we're on the same page with Mr. Knight's testimony. There is a rule on witnesses. However, Mr. Knight's a rebuttal witness. The purpose of excluding witnesses from the courtroom,
Oh,
usually it's a courtroom, is to deprive a later witness of the opportunity to shape testimony to correspond with that of an earlier witness.
something's going on.
The issue we have here, obviously, if it was a direct witness in the direct testimony, you had time to do a rule on witnesses, let them know about the rule on witnesses. With a rebuttal witness, it's a little different because they didn't know they were
I'll
going to
break
be
this
a
down in a minute.
witness. You didn't know they were going to be a witness. I understand that part. The problem is the courtroom in this particular case appears to be the world. So
Yes.
what we have to do here is I'm going to do a voir dire, and I'm going to allow
Yes.
both sides to ask questions as well of Mr. Knight to see what he has seen of the case. And I'm just going to use the factors that the
YouTube
case
come
law in Virginia uses, which
Ooh.
the factors to consider, because the court does have
I will
broad
break this down in a
discretion to
minute.
permit or prohibit a witness to testify in this particular circumstance. So the factors I'm going to consider is if the impropriety was intentional, which we'll find out, the prejudice attached to it. Also, if the excluded witness learned about substantive aspects of the case from an earlier testifying witness, and whether that
Wow.
knowledge had any effect on his or her testimony. So those are the three factors I'm
All right,
going to
we
look
need to
at in weighing
timestamp
this decision. So keep that in mind when you do your voir dire. And it's my understanding that the evidence that Mr. Knight will testify only relates to Hicksville. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Now we can have Mr. Knight.
Okay, I'm going to try to talk really fast. Here's what it sounds like is happening. Mr. Knight, the next witness that's coming up to testify, has something to do with the Hicksville trailer park incident. It is clear that this witness was not given or has seen things on social media. So they are going to voir dire this witness about what they might have seen
All right, so
about
Mr. Knight, if you
court.
come forward.
So the lawyers
Be
in the
sworn.
court are going to get to ask this witness question to see if this witness is allowed to testify before the jury based on what they've seen on social media. If YouTube comes up, I'm going to fucking die. But this
Sir, if you just have a seat.
is going on with social media. This is a witness to Hicksville, but the
Sir,
court
what we're doing is I'm just going to ask you a few questions outside the
is going to
presence of the jury.
explain.
Then the attorneys are going to ask you a few questions.
This is
okay?
very
And I'm going to have you
interesting.
step back outside after that. Okay.
No problem.
All right. What's your full name, sir?
Morgan Higby Knight,
Okay, you don't have to be that close. Sorry. All right. How do you spell your last
Thanks,
name?
Judge A.
Night.
Okay. All right. And
So the judge will
sir,
ask questions first.
Before I can allow you to testify, I just want to ask you a few questions.
Ooh.
Have you seen any of the trial that's been going on for the past 6 weeks?
Approximately 5 weeks ago, a friend of mine texted me that Hicksville was mentioned, and I watched a little clip where
Okay.
it was mentioned.
Which clip did you watch?
I believe it was somebody testifying about, I think it was the security guard testifying maybe about Hicksville or I forget exactly who was
This isn't going to be a big
testifying,
deal.
but it was something where Hicksville was mentioned, and it was about something about a wrist or something like that.
Jury is out of the
All right.
room.
And what did you do after that? At some point, did you get in contact with attorneys?
So I didn't reach out to them. I didn't really care.
Okay.
The innkeepers that worked at Hicksville before reached out to them and said, we saw some stuff that wasn't true. And then they asked, is it
Oh.
okay if I give the attorneys your phone number? So the attorneys reached out to me
Okay. And when did the attorneys reach out to you?
May 3rd.
May 3rd. And you talked to the attorneys
Wow.
at that time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Not Camille, but Geraldine.
Not
Okay. And
Camille's
then
famous.
have you seen any other parts of the trial?
No, she instructed me not to watch anything about it.
No, I
regardless
think he
of
might
if
get
it was
in.
about Hicksville or not. So I've been
Since May
keeping
3rd.
off the internet and turning off anything that seems to be like it's on social media. So I just don't watch any of that.
Wow.
All right. And questions?
He might get in. This is a Depp rebuttal witness.
So, Mr. Knight, you were contacted by an attorney for Mr. Depp on May 3rd,
Yes,
okay? And you said it was Carolyn?
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Oh, Yerlin, I got it. Okay. And
I
what,
think it's pronounced Geraldine.
okay, can you tell us the conversation you had with her at that time?
Yeah, she just asked me my recollection of the evening, and I told her, and she said,
Not
okay, would you mind testifying? And I said, sure. And she said, okay, well then, we're not sure if we're gonna call you or not, but just in case, please don't watch anything having to do with the case. And I said, I will do.
You guys, this is so interesting.
Um,
I can't believe this is happening.
Now, how is it that
This is happening because this
to
trial
your
was
best
televised.
knowledge, how is it that Geraldine was able to get hold of you? How did she know
That's
that you knew
speculative.
something?
So, like I said, two of my innkeepers, my innkeeper and my manager, had reached out to her team, I think through email. And one of them texted me and said, hey, do you mind if we give Geraldine
This
your phone number?
happened because this trial is
Now,
televised.
you
That's why this
also
witness is here.
communicated on Twitter, did you not, about this case?
Yeah, 2 weeks prior to Geraldine reaching out to me, someone had made a comment about something that happened by the fire pit, and I said, that's not my recollection. I didn't see, that's not what I saw.
So who was it that made a comment about
It's
something
like the
that
fuck
happened
if I
at the
know.
fire
It's
pit?
Twitter.
So once I was told about the fact that Hicksville was mentioned, I went and did a Twitter search of Hicksville trailer. So it was, I don't know who it was, but I was just like, what are they saying about Hicksville? And so that was why I did a search, just to see, because it was weird and fascinating, because the night to me wasn't that remarkable.
This is
in
a
the context
witness
of all the different experiences I've had at the trailer palace.
Who is a surprise.
So explain to me,
Because
please, what you mean
I'll
by
break it down at
you
a break.
did a trailer search.
She
So
said
if
a
you go to
search
Twitter and
earlier.
you put in keywords and do a search, all the tweets regarding
This is
that
so
subject
good.
come up, or anything with those keywords in it. So that is how I found the tweet that I replied to.
Okay.
You
And
guys.
how many tweets did you find that mentioned Hicksville when you did that trailer
the
search?
fuck is he supposed to
Probably
remember
like
that
5 or
Elaine?
6. I only replied to
Oh.
one of them.
Really?
Okay.
That's it?
And what do you recall those tweets saying about Hicksville?
The one that I replied to said that there was some incident by the fire pit, and Johnny was yelling at Amber, and I replied that I didn't see that. I was there all night, and I was working that night, so I didn't see anything like that.
So your best recollection on that one was that somebody said somebody was testifying that Johnny was yelling at Amber?
Yeah, and I believe grabbed her or something along those lines.
Do you recall who said Johnny was yelling at Amber and grabbed her?
I have no idea. It was a stranger, so I didn't really pay attention to who was writing it.
All right. And you said that you responded to it. How did you respond to it?
On Twitter.
I
That's
said
the tweet we're
that's
talking about.
not what happened. I was there all night. Yeah, basically, I'm
That-
paraphrasing. It was.
Did
few
you
months ago.
say anything about what you thought happened?
I just said that didn't happen. I didn't say what. I mean, I believe I said maybe something along the lines of, from what I saw, Amber was the one acting jealous, not Johnny.
Wow.
And you said this to one of the tweets.
Well,
Yes,
he
Do you
tweeted it.
recall whether that was the Umbrella Man?
I don't recall. That's a ridiculous name, though.
Okay. So tell me about the other 5.
No,
tweets
justice
that
for
you
Tug,
seen when you
the
got your
Umbrella
Twitter
Man.
Search.
I think they were similar in nature, but I don't specifically remember the details of them. That was pretty much the only one I remembered, and that's the only one I replied to.
Do you remember anything about the other 5 and what was said?
No.
When you said that somebody told you about a security guard, what was your understanding of what the security guard said?
Wow.
I got a text that somebody in the trial had said
Is this real life?
that they were talking about Trailer Palace during the trial. And so that's what led me to go on Twitter and do a search.
He worked there.
And did you have any communications with the 2 innkeepers about what you knew or what you thought?
No, I haven't talked to them in years and
So-
still haven't regarding the case.
So how is it that the
Wow.
innkeepers then contacted you and said, do you mind if
Wow.
we give you the
Wow.
telephone number to
Wow.
the attorneys?
Because they still have me in their phone, and Christy, who was the manager at the time, is the one that texted me and said, hey, do you mind if we pass this along? Mr. Depp's attorneys want to talk to you.
Wow.
Do you mind if we pass what along?
Your phone number.
Right, but how is it that, what is the communication you had with the innkeepers?
That communication,
That
Elaine,
even
they
led them
texted.
to understand that you believed you had knowledge about
This doesn't happen.
the Hicksville incident.
We're not here, but for
There
this
was no
being televised.
conversation. They knew because they were both working that same night. Jenna was the innkeeper and she was there along with me that night. Christy was the one who texted me and she had come in the following morning for her shift. And I slept over. I was live-in innkeeper that night.
So
I want to go to
I'm trying to
Hicksville.
understand. So just based on the fact that 7 years ago, they happened to know that you were working that night.
9 years ago, and it's because I was there
Okay.
with them.
My math, well.
It's because I remembered Johnny
2022
Depp coming to
right
where
now,
I
and that
fucking work.
What year? Oh, that was
2013.
2013. You're right. Okay.
I still
So,
remember Michael Keaton
How
coming into
is
where
it
I
that
worked.
Out of the blue, they remembered 9 years
And that
ago
was-
that you
I don't
worked
know,
there that night and that you might have
16
some
years ago?
knowledge.
I mean, to be honest, like we do get celebrity sometimes.
Yeah, you
but
had the hype house there.
it
I saw it on the show.
was, it's not that unmemorable. It's not like it's any other night of the week.
It's Johnny
So I'm
fucking
sure they
Depp,
remembered the
Elaine.
specifics of that night.
Had Mr. Depp's attorneys ever attempted to contact you before?
No,
Had you
They
ever
didn't know he
attempted to
existed.
contact Mr. Depp's attorneys before?
no, I had no interest.
All right.
So
Have you
many
had
notes.
any conversations with Mr.
This is
Depp's attorneys
fascinating.
other than the one you described with Geraldine?
Since
Yes.
I met with Camille last night,
All right. And what was that conversation? Please describe.
I just
Tell
went
me what you
through,
remember.
the story again that I had told Geraldine.
Mhm.
And let's hear what that story was.
You want me to go through
Yes.
the whole story?
Your Honor, we would object to attorney
Yep.
work product.
There's no attorney work product.
No, I'll overrule
All
that.
right.
They don't know about this witness because this is rebuttal where shit gets
Go ahead,
real.
Yeah,
Please
sure.
continue.
They don't know. They don't have a witness
Um,
statement. They don't have a
Did
depo. They're flying
I
blind.
described like them getting to the trailer palace.
Elaine's trying to
the,
figure out what is happening.
me showing them around, the interactions I had when I was on duty with Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, how the evening progressed throughout the night, the levels of drinking and drug use that I witnessed,
Wow.
what the state of the damaged trailer the next morning, and basically just the details that I
The jury's
I
not
had
there for
only
this. Jury's
spent
on break.
total 45 minutes to an hour with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard throughout the entire course of the night. So it was my recollection of those events.
Chat,
during that
I'm
time.
loving celebrity sightings at work. Keep going. love it.
And what did Ms. Vasquez say to you?
Your Honor, this is beyond, we object on the
That's
grounds that it's
work
beyond
product.
the scope of the voir dire.
No,
That's just
I think
limited to the
whatever
three
she
questions.
said to
Hey,
him was
Elaine.
May I
very-
please finish
Let him
stating my
finish,
objection?
Elaine.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
The objection is that it's beyond the scope of the voir dire. Your Honor enumerated the three criteria which are relevant here. And this is a rebuttal witness, so
Your Honor, whatever Ms. Vasquez shared with him is
No.
going to be very important.
It's
here
work
because we
product,
knew by this
Elaine.
time he was going to be a witness. So,
Well, that was
What-
last night. So how
Right.
does that fit into one of the three factors of deciding?
It doesn't.
whether he's gonna
It
testify?
doesn't.
one of the three factors,
If
you're
this
on that
would-
approach so that the witness doesn't hear.
Okay, that's fine.
If, holy shit, this is a day in court, people. If this witness gets to testify, then he will testify like a normal witness. Right now, they are arguing or litigating over whether or not this witness will get to testify. This is a witness that seems to rebut Amber Heard's side of the story. A neutral witness didn't want to be a part of this, but none of this counts against time. This is litigation. This is not witness questioning. The
Mr.
judge
Knight,
asked for voir dire.
Yes.
Ms. Vasquez,
I definitely feel Emily on this one. It's a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah. See if I can change perspectives. That's not good. That's not good. I could do that. I don't know if I want to be that on camera. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this one.
provide you with any
So
information.
we'll see if he testifies.
That anyone had testified to or
That's a fair question.
said at any point?
Narrowly tailored.
No, she didn't talk about anything except for asking me my experience and just getting a clear understanding of what my experience was. She didn't mention anything outside of the scope of what I saw and just asked me for the facts and told me
To tell the truth.
just tell the truth and let me know,
Do you know what
What you
any of
always
the
tell a witness.
witnesses
Tell the
said
truth.
in this trial?
about, outside of what
My
I
heart's
described
racing.
earlier with the, a friend of mine texting that someone was talking about Trailer Palace, I do not.
Do you know?
I'm rooting for this
whether
guy to
any
come
of the
in.
Witnesses testified about any jealousy.
Other than the tweet that I replied to, no.
I love this dude.
All right. Thank you. Your Honor, may we approach?
All right. Well, do you have any questions?
Oh.
All right. Sir, if you could have a seat back outside the courtroom.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'll
Depp
read my
seems.
block.
I'm sorry. I was talking to Ricky over here, and I was talking to the mute. I was talking to Ricky. So Ricky in chat asked me to comment about this 14th Amendment case that apparently was decided by the Court of Appeals. Ricky, you're going to have to narrow it down for me. Which one, Ricky? Which 14th Amendment case? All right, going back, moving on.
Not asking any
Yes, you can leave your
questions.
water.
Okay. I love seeing you guys talking about work. So I used to work at a sporting goods store, and that's where Michael Keaton came in. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus came in quite regularly. She was so lovely in person. So it was really fun. At the DA's office, there were more celebrities, but I love seeing the celebrity sightings. Why aren't they doing this on mic? Let him out and do it on mic. We want to know what the court's deciding. I really want this witness to come in just because I love the rebuttal. Trial's not predictable. Who knew? And this is a moment that happened because this case is being televised. I want to see the judge's face here. I'm going to make this big because I am not important in this moment. This is important. Oh my goodness. The judge is like, no, Elaine, look at the eyebrows. No, Elaine, that's not how this works. I think this witness comes in. I want this witness to come in. I think this witness comes in, but this is the Perry Mason moment. This is the surprise witness. This is the people at the trailer park are like, we were there. That's not how that went down. And reached out to Depp's attorneys and said, that's not how that went down. And so he said, the only thing I saw on social media was this little bit, and that's not going to color his testimony. He saw a little bit and then reached out to the attorneys, and the attorneys said, do not look at anything else about the case. And he
Correct.
didn't. It goes.
So we don't have to watch any more of that because we got to the voir dire part. So we just saw voir dire to qualify the witness and then ask about all the stuff. So that's, that's what I wanted to see because you don't get to see that very often. So it's just fascinating to watch. I never even really considered the concept of voir diring a non-expert witness. I guess in this circumstance, it makes sense because you have to figure out whether or not they're qualified, which normally you wouldn't have that problem. But, it's like I never thought about this hypothetical scenario because, yeah. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. All right, so now that we've watched that, I'd like to watch all of Jennifer Howe's testimony because it went on for about 56 to... So it went for about 10 minutes total. So I like to rewatch all that. So let's go back and rewatch Jennifer Howe's 10 Minutes of Glory.
CEO of the Art of Elysium. Let me just go back. Now you've
Elaine, make it
indicated
louder.
that Whitney lived with you from January 2015 to, I'm sorry, May 2015 to April 2016. Are you absolutely certain about those dates?
I'm certain. Yes. She came and went at different periods, but all of her stuff moved out of my house April 2016.
And I'm sorry, did you say you were 100% certain of that? Ms. Hall, could you answer my question?
Oh, there must have been an
Yes.
objection.
She did go back to Amber and Johnny's at different points, that she was still living with me during that time.
The question I asked, because you were talking at the same time as Vasquez was giving an objection, was I
Wow.
believe that you said you were 100% certain
me.
of those dates. Is that
For the
correct?
third time, yes,
Same with
Elaine.
All right.
Oh, you previously testified that you were the CEO for Art of Elysium. Is that correct?
That's all the cross-examination.
And are you still currently in that position?
Yes, I am.
Huh.
And how long have you been the CEO for Art of Elysium?
I am the founder of the organization. So we did our first workshop in August of 1997.
This is what happens when you don't have any time left. You've got to cut your cross.
The legal paperwork in February of 98 to set up a 501c3. So I guess since the beginning of the charity.
Ms. Howell, when did you first meet Amber Heard?
At the Pineapple Express premiere.
Somebody
is where
brought
I
up
met
Pineapple
she and her sister
Express.
Whitney.
We've been waiting for Pineapple Express to come up for
Do you
a
remember
while.
approximately what year that was?
I believe it was around 2008. I'm sure that could be pulled. It was the LA premiere. I think there was probably multiple premieres, but it was a Los Angeles premiere of Pineapple Express.
All
was
of
Ms.
us.
Heard there with Mr. Depp?
No, this was long before. I was a guest of James Franco, and Amber was in the movie. And so I met she and her sister at to be specific, at the after party of the premiere.
Weed is getting a lot of
Did Ms.
publicity today.
Enriquez end up working for
Lots
Art
of
of
conversations
Elysium
of
at some
weed
point?
today.
Yes, she did.
What year did Ms. Enriquez begin working with Art of Elysium?
I believe it was in
Whitney is
2014.
Amber's
I don't
sister?
have those documents right in front of me. I believe it was leading into the year Amber was receiving the award.
And what was Ms. Enriquez's position at Art of Elysium?
Art salon manager, director.
Does Ms. Enriquez still work for Art of Elysium?
No.
When did that end?
I don't know if Whitney's still in court.
Oh, 2015,
I didn't see.
I believe.
Each time you saw Mr. Depp, did you ever see him doing any illicit illegal drugs?
Never.
Did you ever see him consuming excessive amounts of alcohol?
Never.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp appear intoxicated?
No.
Did Ms. Heard ever show you photographs of depicting injuries on her face or body?
No.
Ari, of course you were.
Did Ms.
You're
Heard ever
everywhere.
tell you that Mr. Depp was abusive towards her?
The split
No.
screens are hard because those channels tend to claim their streams.
Mr. Depp
So
paying your legal fees, Ms. Howell, for this deposition and the testimony you provided in the UK action?
He is not.
Who is?
Myself.
sister's still in the gallery. All right, I'm sure I will look for clips later of the split screens.
Do you feel any particular sense of loyalty towards Mr. Depp?
None at all.
I believe
Do you
that.
feel any sense of loyalty
I believe
towards Ms.
that.
Heard?
Not anymore.
None at all.
Ms. Howell, do you recognize this check as the check that the Art of Elysium received on behalf of Ms. Heard for a donation, an anonymous donation of $250,000?
Yes. Yes.
I believe you testified previously that
Or was the captions getting
You
duck instead
understood.
of Depp?
the anonymous donor was Elon Musk. Is that true?
Yes.
If I could please have Exhibit 4 brought up. And for the record, it's date stamp JH 22 through 29.
This witness contradicts Whitney Heard's testimony, is my understanding. We'll see. But this is a rebuttal witness for Johnny Depp, Jennifer Howell, Amber Heard's sister's former boss. So, yep.
Do you recognize this document, Ms. Howell? And if you need to scroll through the 8 pages, feel free.
I think this is a new deposition. It looks like her second deposition, if not more.
Can you scroll down?
And again, spending so
Yeah,
much time
I
on
recognize
YouTube,
that.
I always want to cut out the pauses,
What
but you
is this?
can't.
That is
Goes to
an
evaluating
email,
the
I believe
witness.
I sent to Whitney.
Email to Whitney.
Scrolling up to the first page of this attachment. Who is Marcel?
Pariseau.
Sure, Carousel.
He is one of my oldest friends in Los Angeles who has served as a board member of the Art of Elysium and is one of my biggest confidants here in LA.
I love it when people move to LA and they're like, my first LA friend, my oldest LA friend. I don't know if people do that when they move elsewhere. Maybe New York are the only places I've heard it
I'm
referred
going
to.
down to the 3rd page of this exhibit. Thank you.
Awkward Turtle, that is, I had no idea she was in it either, but I haven't watched it nearly that much. It's been a long time since I've seen Pineapple Express.
This is an email, Ms. Howell, that you sent to Whitney Henriquez on or about Tuesday, July 28th, 2020 at 11:02 a.m.
It is.
This is a true and accurate copy of an email exchange that
We'll
you
talk
sent
about the
to
TMZ
Ms.
order
Henriquez.
after court is
Yes, I
done.
believe I'm the one who gave that. Yes, it is.
And then did you forward this email exchange and the attachments to Marcel Pariseau?
Yeah, I asked him to keep it for me.
Why did you send this email and letter to Ms. Henriquez?
Because I struggled very much with what to do in a situation that I love someone who I know is doing something very wrong, and I know
Wow.
that they're doing it because they're trying to protect their sister, and I'm trying to protect her, and I'm just trying to get her to wake up and do the right thing, which is tell the truth. It's the only thing that can help everybody involved in this case.
Oh my.
Ms. Howell, do you recall submitting a witness statement in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, they basically just called to verify the witness statement that was submitted previously.
And do you recognize this document to be the witness statement and the declaration that you submitted in the UK? And if you want to scroll down to look at it.
Yes, I recognize it.
And at the first page, do you see a date on this document?
January 13th, 2021.
And is this document a true and accurate copy of the declaration that you submitted in the UK proceeding on or about January 13th, 2021?
Yes.
And are all the statements in your UK declaration accurate and true?
I mean, yes, I signed it. Yes.
All right, let's pull up what I believe was Depp
Hello,
Exhibit
Shannon.
9.
I hope I said that
It's been
right.
marked as Depp Exhibit
Thank
9.
you, Ricky. Pulling up Depp Exhibit 9. I like it when they split screen it. Can we split screen it? Thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, this is the cheese mate. Today's been, dude, rebuttal can be
So,
spicy.
Ms. Howell, earlier you were shown this document. Scrolling to the end of it.
Can you go? Okay.
There. Mm-hmm. Did Mr. Waldman
Oh, the whining noise is awful. I hear it.
assist you in drafting this email?
Absolutely not.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about drafting this email?
About writing an email? No, I did that on my own accord.
Did you speak with Mr. Waldman at all about contacting the ACLU?
She contacted the
I do not
ACLU?
recall having a conversation with them about that.
And Ms. Howell, you testified earlier that you received a check from Fidelity Charitable in January of 2018. Is that correct?
I don't know if I said the date, but yes, I received an anonymous donation from that check that was submitted. Whatever it's on there, I just don't know the date off the top of my head.
And you testified that there was a letter sent along with that that said that it was in honor of Amber Heard.
Yes, Richard, I was guaranteed 20 minutes with him after being attacked for 3.5 hours by your side the last time. So I am going to stick by what I was told before entering this and what your side agreed to.
All right, your next witness.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp calls Candy Davidson Goldbraun, who is the corporate designee of the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
All right, and that's by deposition, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm surprised.
Hold on, is it your understanding that you're here to testify today on behalf of the Children's Hospital?
Didn't really miss anything the first time, did I? I don't really. Yeah, didn't really miss anything the first time. To what your side agreed to, do we know what this means? Well, from context, I could guess. It seems from context the deposition happened on more than one day. She was wearing different clothing. And it seems like she had understood that she'd be allowed some amount of time to present information because she wasn't being like asked the right questions. And she was under the, it seems like what she was saying, that she was under the understanding that they were going to give her time to answer questions or provide information they weren't asking questions for. And so that seems to be what they were talking about. But, you know, that's just a guess. That's just a guess from the context about what they might be talking about. And they probably said something like, so I'm imagining how this conversation really went in the real world. And what the legal team probably said, she probably said something like, I want a half hour to present it. And the legal team probably said something like, we'll get around to it, just to blow her off. And she took that as a, yes, you can have 30 minutes, even though they had absolutely no intention of getting around to it because it's their time. So I'm guessing that's what happened, but obviously I'm speculating as to a conversation based on a speculation about what they're saying and talking about. But yeah, it seems to be, I think, what they're talking about. And it's not particularly surprising that it's not particularly surprising that the lawyers may not be asking questions the witness wants to answer, because it's the lawyer's call. It's the lawyer's call what they want to talk about or ask about, right? It's the lawyer's call what they want, what witnesses to call in what order. It's the lawyer's call what things they want to ask. And the lawyer may not want to ask certain questions because they honestly don't want the answer for any number of reasons. All right. So even in a deposition where it's more explorative by nature, it's possible that the lawyer said, I don't want to ask certain questions because I don't want to explore that territory. I don't want to explore that territory because there be dragons or something. So I think what was going on, all things considered, but I couldn't say for sure. Issues with the statement JD team only have it as a text. Amber Heard team claimed Wallman wrote so he can't enter it. This makes the email claim getting it in. Yeah, but they didn't I don't know. They didn't offer it as evidence and didn't offer it stuff. It's like, I don't know what's going on exactly. I'm not sure what's going on exactly. Well, let me read your statute or your thing. Thomas said, gave me $2 Canadian, said a little while. Well, the stream starts when Alita's ends. It would start sooner today if I remember to hit the go live button, but we do it with what we can. It was a practice session, a little bit. Nicole gives $1. Thank you. Dietrich says hi. Hello to yourself. Catherine S. To Hogue, love the AM News recap. Thanks for supporting Kurt. I know that he would appreciate that comment. We all do like to support each other. Thank you. Swinging down. Please explain what's coming from JH. Been here all day. Nothing, really. Ariane Fowler. I checked out a lot today. What was the main takeaway from today's proceedings? I still think the main takeaway was Marks. He was the hero of the day of saying that their evaluation was total garbage. He was the hero of the day. Thomas Baxter, Hogue is being the best human. He does help out. The Law Patrol. Sorry, not sorry for the last minute super chat, Hog. A good lawyer gets the last word in. Sure enough. B555. DUI guy just said Depp and Moss testifying tomorrow. Depp testifying tomorrow doesn't quite make sense. Moss testifying tomorrow makes sense. But if you're going to call Depp, why not wait? Yeah, I'm not sure. Renee Johnson. I am a SY remote producer. Hint, hint. Well, Renee, I don't know what SY means. But that being said, I'm always interested in people that can help the channel. My contact information is listed on my channel. I believe it's on the description of every video, and it's on the About page. My email is uncivillawYT@gmail.com. If you feel like you can give me some sort of help and development of the channel, it would be appreciated. In particular, I am looking for a role. I'm looking for a very particular role at the moment. I'm looking for someone who can work for me on a regular basis, who can help me find stories that would be good for me to cover. So the idea would be this role would be, let's say you spend an hour a day every day. And in that hour a day, you find a story for me that would be good for the channel. And what would be good for the channel in this context would be stories that obviously have a legal element to them, so I can do some legal education, and also stories that would be popular and in the popular eye and public zeitgeist. So this could be court cases, it could be news articles, it could be op-eds, it could be, basically anything that I could respond to and comment on. So this is a role I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who can help curate stories for me that are of a legal variety and of a public interest that would help the channel grow and stuff like that. Because I'm not very good at that kind of thing. So I would like some production help in that respect. If you feel like you can help in some other respect, feel free to contact me, uncivillawYT@gmail.com. Let me know what you can do, and we'll go from there. It is appreciated. Ho, tell us Kurt's zodiac sign right now. Yeah. The reason is because it's bullshit. And one of the ways I know it was because it's like when I refused to answer, I got basically every possible answer in the chat. Oh, you must be Aquarius. Oh, you must be this. You must be that. It's like, they're all interchangeable. So it doesn't matter, right? It's a silly thing to think about. Oh, StreamYard. Excellent. Okay, so you're a StreamYard producer of some kind. All right. I don't know exactly what that would mean. But again, if you have some sort of ability to help me in production, I'm not sure exactly what that would be. Contact me at uncivillawYT@gmail.com. Let me know what you can do, and we'll go from there. Emily Skinner. I missed the last 2 hours. Came back, lost for the end of trial. What happened? Well, the How thing didn't go anywhere, which was disappointing. They didn't explicitly enter into evidence. I've heard that it's been entered, but they don't have the exhibits up for the day yet. So I don't know for sure, although maybe tomorrow. But it does leave the sister's testimony somewhat uncontradicted unto itself, I guess you should say. Like, there's nothing really squarely like attacking it. Like, it's inconsistent with other stories, so you got that, but there's nothing like squarely attacking it. And Hal was supposed to do that, and yet not so much. So, yeah. I tried, but you blew me off. Well, sometimes I do blow off people because, not everyone's a right fit for my channel. Not everyone's the right fit for my channel. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The plaintiff got 30 minutes at the end, and the plaintiff lost 30 minutes at the end. Johnny Depp lost 30 minutes because they ended 30 minutes early. They were out of witnesses, and they didn't want to put a new witness on. So they lost 30 minutes. So it's like they called a witness. It's like they called a witness and asked questions for 30 minutes. It's like, well, if you want to end the day earlier, that's fine. I'm just going to charge you for the time. And I'm like, okay. Well, the Johnny Depp's team is not like, going anywhere in a hurry. John.
How are you, Kurt?
Tired.
I can imagine. It's been a long day.
Sometimes confused and slightly delirious, I guess, maybe, question mark. I don't even know what the right vocab words are anymore.
I got a little bit of faith in humanity when their psych expert was testifying today. That regenerated me a little bit.
That was good. I like the movie producer guy. He was my fave.
Yeah, that's everyone's favorite, but I really like the site because he took Doc Brown down to size and actually reinstilled a little bit of faith in humanity in that profession.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was just doing super chats. But if you have anything you want to comment about the day or anything, testimony, notable moments, whatever, I'm happy to do that too.
I mean, look, as a practical matter, their rebuttal witnesses are so much better prepared, and they've come across. And if you want to talk about the movie guy or you want to talk about the psych guy, either of them have really just slashed apart the quote unquote experts that were put up the other day. It's not even close. It's really tough to watch.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? Do you have I didn't see a lot of your commentary, but I'm curious.
No, I mean I'm lower energy. I don't one of these days I have to figure out where Alita and Emily D. Baker get it from, because those women seem to have some sort of reservoir of energy where they're always cheery and bubbly and dynamic and like happy.
I can only imagine it's liters of coffee.
Maybe it's coffee. I'm not sure what it is, but they got something.
This was a tough day.
Is it drugs? Tell me if it's drugs. Just tell me what drugs I have to be on so I can be like you.
All of the cocaine.
If that is cocaine, then it's a great marketing ad for cocaine. Just saying, man. Cocaine's looking pretty good. Emily Skinner, I missed the last 2 hours. Came back lost for the end of trial. What happened? I can't find a summary that I understand, but the vibe is low and confused. Is it Twilight Zone or things are wonky? I think all those things. It's Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It's wonky. It's confused. It's low. I think basically all those adjectives are correct. We are coming to the end. God bless us all.
God,
we have
they
Wednesday.
They have to have what, like 2 hours left?
I think someone was saying 2:45-ish. I think someone said 2:54. Something in that time frame.
So we're running right up to Thursday because Depp's team still has what, maybe 10 hours?
Yep. Laura G, you've been up and streaming for 12 hours. Well, there's definitely that.
That'll do it.
There is some of that.
I was driving for about 4 hours back from Georgia, and I'm absolutely shot. So I like that we're on a chill stream right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting some lo-fi. We could put some lo-fi in the background and just chill out as I try to get a drug-infused high, or just from the music. Can I do that? Actually, I can. Hold on.
Hey, go for it.
Okay.
Don't gotta complain for me.
That's fine. I got this somewhere. Hold on. Okay, let's do this because I have permissions for all this music. Okay, so go here.
God, Chad seems psyched at the idea, which is kind of counter to the point, but okay.
Yeah. See what we can do here. Okay, chill hop. How do I log in on my phone? Talk amongst yourselves.
I was gonna say I'm considering talking to chat. You can't just take Seroquel. That's not how that works. It's an off-label use, and I do not recommend it unless prescribed by an appropriate physician.
What is Seroquel and what does it do?
It's a second-gen antipsychotic and can be a knockout agent.
Okay, well, I'd like to not be psychotic, so that sounds good for me. No, nothing.
No, nothing. I had a case a while back on haloperidol, which was the first gen anti-psych that they used as a knockout agent, and the individual died a couple days later, and it just became an absolute nightmare to try and prove that the drug didn't do it.
Were they happy?
They seem to go off into the cold, dark night peacefully.
Excellent. There's that, man.
Sometimes that's all you can hope for. See, the old Kenny Rogers song, "The Gambler."
Yep. Know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Know when you can sing. Know when you can't.
You're not half bad at that.
All right, here we go.
They're asking Kurt's friends, "What's your name?" My name is John. Nice to meet you all.
Oh, yeah. We are here with those sweet, sweet grooves of the Uncivil Law Happy Hour channel. Ah, yeah. With me tonight is that coolest of cats, our new friend from the Law Tubes, John. John,
Hey,
are you digging it?
I'm loving every minute of it.
Excellent.
Everybody here should be loving it too.
We do need more love in our world. Love is love. And
Amen.
if we had more love, we'd all just be grooving. Oh, yeah. Emily Skinner says, I missed the last 2 hours. Well, we read that one. Catherine Pritchard. Oh, shoot. That wasn't me. Just kidding. Hi, Kurt. How you doing, Catherine? Sup, girl? Allie JD. What the hell happened with Jennifer Howe's testimony? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I suppose there were some motions in limine that left us with just that. But then the question is, why?
I have so many questions there. I'm trying to keep the groove, but I got so many questions, and that one really bothers me a little bit. The other one, when it came to Dr. Schneider, whatever the hell his name was, God, he can't comment on the other testimony, and he just was not allowed to do it. I don't understand why.
No, absolutely not, man. Too many questions unresolved. You know, if we ever get the transcripts of this, it will be interesting to read those bench conferences and stuff and see what they were talking about.
I think they do publish them.
Oima gives $20. Holy crap, it just dawned on me. I've been listening to LawTube for 14 hours, starting with Hogue at 7 a.m. How do you guys do this? Lol. Well, I beat you to it because I was on with Legal Mindset at 4 a.m. Central Time. Yeah, and it is now 9 p.m. Central Time, which by my math means it's been a 15-hour day. Oh, yeah. We are here dedicated for the LawTubes, for sure.
Hey, we're here for your entertainment and your educational value. That's why we're here.
James C. Hogg's impromptu intro is amazing. Yes, that cat can definitely help you when you needs to. Laura Jean, turning in late, but love you. I love you too, Laurie. Detective Seed, Kurtz. I'll be on with you guys during jury deliberation. I'm a former undercover officer. who's covering these cases from a different angle. If you ever want me on to answer questions from a law enforcement view, let me know. Well, my friend, you know what I say. I want a lawyer. I want to remain silent. Can you dig it? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Detective Seeds. Kiki Rojas. Kurt, you're awesome. Fantastic. Thackemus. The fact Elaine was unable to keep this guy off the stand baffles the F out of me. Should have brought up Tub from the start. For sure. That's 17 hours? Yes, it is.
Yeah, that is.
It's going that well over here. Kiki says you're awesome. And how? All right, let's see. Jamie Walton, $10. Started following you guys after finding the Legal Bites channel. I want to support all of you. You guys are all wonderful. Discovering LawTube is the best thing to come from this trial for me. Thanks. Well, we will definitely have more LawTube. Things that you can look forward to on this channel in the near future will be discussion of FEC versus Ted Cruz, dealing with campaign finance regulations as it relates to a candidate's ability to lend himself money to his own campaign. We'll also be discussing the habeas petition case that just came down from the federal courts, dealing with the Effective Death Penalty Act of Congress and whether or not you can develop new evidence as part of your habeas petition before the federal court. And of course, upcoming this session by the first day of July, one would imagine. There are two big cases.
June.
First day of July. All of June. May, June. By the first day of July.
You think it's going to come first day of July, or do you think they're going to release it sometime in June? Because there's a lot of pressure.
Well, I mean, by the first day of July, so sometime in June. I don't know when. By the first day of July, we're expecting two. We're expecting two major decisions yet to drop. We've got a big Second Amendment case, which is, of course, more notable today because, I suppose, of the events in Texas today where a lot of children died at an elementary school. So we got a major Second Amendment case coming down in the form of NYSRPA versus Bruin, which vaguely deals with the concepts, I suppose, at some level of analysis, when, if ever, a person can have a firearm outside their home. So the case in New York deals with the issuance of concealed carry permits because New York does not issue open carry permits, nor do they allow open carry. So concealed carry is the only thing you can do. And in New York, in New York City in particular, it's basically borderline impossible to get one. They technically
you need to know a captain of a precinct.
Yeah, that would be a nice start. So that would be a nice start. So and
if you can get one.
Even then, it doesn't help because Nate Brody, former cop, former DA, hasn't been able to get one. So, just saying.
But he has the. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna look up the law.
Yeah, well, the federal law for the retired cops. You're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I just don't remember.
I don't know if that applies to retired or active duty, but there is something dealing with that somewhere, and I think maybe you have to have been a cop for 25 years.
I talked to Nate about it a little bit, and it's such a nightmare to go through the paperwork.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're dealing with this case, NYSRPA versus Bruin, which deals with when you can have a concealed carry permit under what circumstances. Or the right to carry arms outside the home under what circumstances. So the probable result is some sort of expansion of the right, but we don't know exactly what.
There kind of has to be, because if you remember the previous case, which was, I think, let go for lack of jurisdiction after
it was rendered moot at the last minute.
Yeah,
they got around it.
They can't do that twice. The court's going to get ticked.
Well, not only that, because New York won't do it voluntarily. They could, but they just will never give them what they want.
No,
they were willing to give them what they wanted last time, but not this time.
But that's the thing, is that you can't you can't moot a law that way and expect the court's gonna take that twice.
Yeah.
They'll give it to you the first time.
Yeah. So that's one case, and the other big case is Dobbs versus. I always forget who it's versus. Do you remember who it is? Dobbs versus who?
It's a God. I always forget as well.
Yeah.
Dobbs v. Jackson.
Dobbs v. Jackson. That's right. So Dobbs v. Jackson is the other big case we're dealing with. We've already seen a leaked opinion dealing with abortion in the United States and whether or not Roe versus Wade and Casey versus Planned Parenthood will continue to survive or not. And the draft opinion, at least, would have said no, which would have reverted the issue back to the states for state level control. And in which situation, I think something like, I'd have to double check, but something like 21 or 23 states or 17, something like that, I have to double check, have trigger laws that would make abortion instantly illegal, including Texas for that matter. But a lot of states, of course, wouldn't. California and New York obviously being the most notable. But we only saw a draft opinion. And at least to my mind, the stuff dealing with quickening left a little bit to be desired in terms of my views of the analysis. So we'll see.
I saw your review of the analysis. There's no way that this comes out of conference without a 5-person majority to end Roe.
I would imagine. I mean, there's no way that you don't have 5 people saying we're willing to overturn Roe with that draft opinion being written, because of course the draft opinion is written just by one justice, but you would imagine the justice is going to try to write something that he thinks everyone can agree to. So the only logical conclusion is at least 5 say we should overturn Roe and Casey.
Yeah, and that was always my thought process was, look, if Alito is the one getting the decision, it means Thomas is in the majority, Roberts is not.
Yep.
And you've got 5.
Yep. I mean, that's the most logical conclusion.
Go forth.
I was a little surprised they didn't give it to Barrett for the optics.
I don't think that you can give it to Barrett because she's just too new. I think that letting Alito do it, I think was probably the better idea. I was a little surprised Thomas didn't do it, but I think Thomas is going to write a concurrence.
Yeah. Thomas probably has harsher words. He can't even agree. He can't even agree with it. Like, he probably has some really harsher words because Thomas can do some weird shit sometimes. Although I don't always understand Thomas, because sometimes he does things that seem backwards to my mind from what I think are his principles. But maybe I just don't understand Thomas well enough.
I'd be interested to talk to you about that at some point, but maybe now's not the time.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting case to cover and review when that decision comes out. So, yeah, I don't think there's any announcements right now on the calendar in terms of when they're announcing things. There's not going to be anything this week because Monday is a federal holiday, so they won't be announcing anything this Monday. So that takes us to June, and we have, hold on, let me count, see how many decisions we have left to be released. Let's see.
When you have a second, what do you think about the Cruz decision?
Which one was that?
That unused funds can be subsumed by the individual?
For the FEC?
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So we
I'm not gonna ask you to comment on this like you haven't read.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an opinion because I haven't read it yet. Sometimes I read them and I disagree with them. Like the one where I disagreed with the court was interesting because it was an 8-1 with Sotomayor and sole dissent, and I agreed with Sotomayor, which isn't something you would necessarily predict, right? But
that was which one?
It was Kansas v. Glover. The case, it was. Do you know the case?
I'm familiar, but let the chat know.
All right, so Kansas v. Glover is an interesting case because it came on stipulated facts, right? So they agreed to all the facts, and the facts were actually very simple, all things considered. So Glover is driving down the road in a car. According to the police officer, he's driving perfectly legally. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, his license plate, when it's scanned, presumably, either it's typed in manually or scanned by the camera on the car or whatever, but one way or another, the cop's car tells him this car is owned by someone who has a suspended driver's license. Okay? But the car is not being operated improperly. So the only basis to pull over this car at this point is based on the fact that the owner, which again, we don't know who's driving it at this point, because again, it's not, the cop didn't say they saw who was in there. They didn't say that they knew anything about him. All we know is the car, the license plate, and the owner, whoever it is, has a suspended license. We pull them over. The owner is in fact the person driving. We arrest them for violation of, driving without a suspended license. Goes all the way to Supreme Court. I thought Sotomayor had it right. It's like, for my mind, this is not reasonably articulable suspicion. There is not enough to tie, because all you know is that the owner, but you don't know who's driving. You have no clue who's driving. You don't even know it's the same race, same sex, same age. It's not like you looked at him and be like, geez, that looks like it could be a person matching that description. So I didn't think it made RAS. So I didn't think that worked. So it was me and Sotomayor and a raft alone.
Yeah, I can absolutely get where you're coming from. I do not agree with you. Just because the mismatch or the fact that there's a ding on the plate, that is exactly why licensure exists for automobiles. So that's going to be a little bit of a hurdle to get me through, but I get where you're coming from as well.
VSync asks why my audio is all over the place. The reason my audio is all over the place is because I'm inside StreamYards, and it does not give you the level of audio control that OBS does. So when I want to have guests on, it's a lot easier to do it in StreamYards, but I don't get the level of audio control. So when you get all that nice, crisp, clear audio, that's just wonderful. It's because it's an OBS, and now you get trash. So yeah.
I've seen it back, and mine comes across as garbage afterwards as well sometimes.
Yeah. So or it could be the music and so I didn't agree with that decision.
Okay.
I really liked Gorsuch's decision in the tribal case. Although I really liked my favorite, the one that really made me a Justice Gorsuch fanboy was his opinion in the gays in the workplace case. I really loved his opinion in that case.
That was extremely well written. The tribal case to me was a little 50-50 because the problem that you then have, and it was not argued well enough in my opinion, was you basically made Oklahoma not a state anymore.
A little bit.
So you basically erased a state from the map.
A little bit. I mean, it wasn't quite that drastic, but yeah.
No, but I'm making it a little bit hyperbolic, but you're getting kind of, in my opinion, you're getting a little too close to that.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. So apparently one of the federal courts ruled about the insurrectionists and apparently said something along the lines of insurrectionists are disqualified from running or holding office under the 14th Amendment. I'll get into it. It doesn't sound right. Based on my
absolutely wrong.
It seems wrong based on my reading of the history on this. Congress has the power to disqualify people, but Congress has to do it. And at various points in history, they've done it themselves. They have, at one point in history, given it to state level authority to do it. But in the absence of a congressional directive, I don't think the 14th Amendment is self-executing in this respect. So I think it's wrong for that reason, based on my understanding.
Nothing in
the
the 14th Amendment is self-executing.
This is true. C. Neil says you have to ask DUI guy about the $25,000 screenshot he got accidentally off of Amber's assistant. Okay, I don't know what that means, but okay. Laurie says I missed mention of a bribe. Please explain. Oh, this is dealing with I forget what the thing is. What was it? It was like some expert or something, like someone reinterpreted it as a bribe. It's not a bribe. They were just using
Just
it as
going back to
appropriate.
the Depp trial.
Yeah, there was something today, and I forget what the thing was, but it wasn't really a bribe. They were just saying that something was a functional equivalent of a bribe, but no, I don't remember what it is, but no. In Exile says they didn't properly lay foundation in Heard's cross because they failed to confront her directly with this evidence. Yes, that's right. That is actually true. And when Andrea pointed that out, I felt like a complete idiot because I'm like, oh shit, you're right. You're totally right, Andrea. We've all been fucking this up. And she just, it's one of those moments when you're like, I'm a bad lawyer. She just says one thing, it just shuts me all down. Fuck. Yeah, they didn't set it up. So bonus points for Andrea on that one to, yeah, it was the donation to somebody, was supposedly the bribe. But yeah, that was a fantastic moment. Yeah, the problem is Andrea's 100% right. In order to impeach them with that evidence, you have to first confront them with the evidence while they're on the stand to give them an opportunity to confront it before you can bring it in. And they didn't do that, so they couldn't do it. So they fucked it up. Johnny Depp's teams made a mistake. Andrea absolutely was smart today. She kicked ass.
I still think it's reversible, but yes.
Was a huge jump a result of a sidebar this morning? I'm not sure there was a huge jump. I mean, we were just disappointed that things didn't pan out the way they did. I thought Amber Heard had a little bit better odds at the end of the day than at the start of the day. Her odds are still bad, but she had more chances at the end of the day than she did when she walked in. In Exile, the hearsay parts of the depot didn't get in. I believe that. Because Whitney told her is hearsay because they didn't lay the foundation for it properly under the rules. Shell CD said, Alita stream today isn't showing on her channel. Is it a glitch? Can anyone else see it? Okay, so this is a YouTube thing that applies to all channels. When live streams end, sometimes they don't show up right away because YouTube is doing processing in the back end. And sometimes it takes for them a while to show up. So depending on YouTube's mood that day, it can be anywhere from instant to, I think my all-time record was 2 days. It took one of my live streams to show up after I completed it. So that's just a YouTube thing and YouTube sucking. So it will be back eventually. Cordy Jordan Y says, confused by JH. Was she beneficial? No. Walter gave 1999. Thank you. Law RN. Who else was the last lawyer during Hall's Depot? That was AHSI. It was not Camille Husad. Maybe it was one of their former attorneys. Rune Bain says, you're doing great. I'm just surprised they let the outbursts from the deposit witness in. That made no sense. Yeah, I mean, why? The way that these are edited is like really, really sloppy.
That's been really weird to me. Is there are so many things.
Do you not have some first year
should be
associates
cut.
that can like edit it for you?
That literally should be your job. When you write a privilege log for everybody to chat, if you're a first year associate, yes, you're sitting there writing privilege logs and putting timestamps. Apparently, they didn't learn that. I don't know.
Have you tried Fiverr.com to get help for searching for articles? I don't know that it would help. I would have a tough time describing to someone on Fiverr what it is I'm looking for. I think because of the language barriers. I don't know who I would ask, what I would look for as a search term, what description I would provide them to get what I'm looking for. I think maybe someone more familiar with the channel might be a better position. I've used Fiverr for some things in the past. I'm not sure this is one of them. Jay Wolfenstein. Hey, Kurt, I have a question. When a court goes to appeal and possibly Supreme Court, do they get separate case number or do appeals get appended to the existing number? They get new numbers. They get new numbers for the appellate. New docket entries.
Yeah, they're new indexes.
LEJD, Whitney is the only person to witness JD hit by AH. Why would they use Hal to rebut? Probably because they can't. I may be able to help to curate. contact me at my channel and let me know what you might be willing to do, and we'll go from there. Roxlyn says, love your commentary and different opinions. Thank you. Barry White vibes. Yeah. Uncivil Speakeasy? Of course. Cheryl says, in your opinion only, what do you think the outcome? I really hope Johnny Depp is going to win. I feel like that's the correct result on every possible level. There's like technical ways for Amber Heard to win, but it doesn't feel like the right result. And in some ways it's not. I really hope Johnny Depp is going to win this case. The case is just overwhelming, in my humble opinion. And you have to work pretty hard to make it work for Amber Heard. It's like you can technically get there, but why?
I told Nate the other day, I think Amber probably wins 2 out of 3. And I think that the essay claim in the headline is the one that sinks them.
I think you might be right about that. I don't think that. I think she won the last one. The last one doesn't really do anything for me. Never did. The middle one, But yeah, the sexual violence is the real, because it's sexual violence with the retweeting and the endorsement and like reckless disregard of it. Yeah, with the retweet, she's hosed.
If I had to read the tea leaves, I think 2 out of 3 she wins, but the third one's gonna sink her.
The verdict's not going to be that specific, though.
No, probably not. But again, I can't not be a lawyer when I evaluate it.
She may wind up hating that tweet by the time we're done. That one tweet may be the end of her.
I would hope she does.
Law Patrol. The Law Patrol became a member. And Shem Pasta says, I'm confused. What's the issue? JD's team mentioned bribery. Yeah, it was this issue that like the donation to Hal was a bribe, but it's like, whatever.
But why do you want to confuse more issues into this mix right now? There's already enough for the jury to consider.
Yeah. Well, it's 9:00 and I'm going to pass out horribly. But I would like to thank my guest, John. You have always been fun, and I do enjoy talking to you because you're a smart guy.
It's always a pleasure.
And when we have Supreme Court, whenever those Supreme Court decisions come out, I'll tell you what, if they come out, we're going to just have an emergency stream at like 11:00 one day or whatever, dealing with stuff. And hopefully you'll be
100% in.
Hopefully you'll be able to join me.
100% in.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.